unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of four. Thompson, party of four. Thompson, party... Oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan. It's unregimented.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
And now, here are your hosts.
Another Friday. We did it. I'm Chris.
I'm Marin. And I'm Rich.
There's a plan now. At least a plan has been formulated. Their guidelines have been issued for when we all decide we want to go. Well, not when we want to decide to go back to normal, I guess. An 18-page plan, because why not? Government, right? There's 100 qualifiers and 1 million conditions, but there's could we say this is probably like the beginning of a light at the end of the tunnel of being released from our houses, going back to work? I have no idea.
I mean, yeah, the plan is just a plan for when it's ready, when it's time, right? The plan doesn't say, here's when you should be looking at it. Now, it gives it has recommendations in there, right, for how to gauge whether you should be reopening your economy, right, based on the spread of the disease, I would imagine.
Yeah, I know you have to have, like, my wife told me about it. So forgive me if I'm missing every bullet point, but I think it's 4 weeks of declining deaths, declining infections, declining hospital rates. Like there are many
4 weeks of that. So that
no, I'm sorry, 2 weeks. Pardon me.
2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, but 2 weeks of all of that before it's recommended you have that before you enact phase one.
Yeah. So Michigan it's starting to plateau, which means that we are not there yet.
No.
Yeah.
Means we're close. It means we're, and by close I mean maybe within the month we start enacting phase one, or with a month, not the month. So, sure, let's hope.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly what the federal government should be doing. It sounds like they're handling this right as well, and it sounds like Trump again is being rather calm about this issue and not trying to overly push the idea of opening the economy too soon. But yeah, that's exactly what we need. It would just a unified plan, something that at least a starting point. Not everyone has to agree on it, because again, it's not mandatory to follow this. These are guidelines.
Yeah, because it echoes something they've been saying, that Fauci and Birx have been saying the whole time, that it's gonna. The point Birx has been making, that she's been hammering home almost every day, is every place is on their own curve. We like to think that we're all on this curve together, but really, the West Coast is obviously on their own curve, the East Coast is on their own curve, the Midwest is on their own curve. So it's going to have to be a rolling plan to do this based on where you're at. Washington and Oregon are probably going to start a lot sooner than Michigan and New Jersey.
Yeah, right. And Michigan, so they're coordinating, our state is coordinating with Ohio and I don't know what else. What are the other 7 states? Indiana,
Minnesota, Wisconsin. I think that's Michigan. And my computer's shaking its time bringing up this damn shit, so I'm going to have to bring it up on my phone to read it. But it's 7 Midwest governors, and you were saying Ohio wants to start in a couple weeks, like May 1st. Calm down,
That's
Ohio.
what I found odd about this. They announced today that they were meeting and coordinating their efforts, and that story was from like a couple hours ago. And then right after it, there's a story about how Ohio Governor Mike DeWine announced today that they're going to start reopening businesses in phases starting May 1st. So that definitely, that not only contradicts the organization between the other Midwestern states that everyone else was reporting on, but it also contradicts the federal guidelines that Trump was talking about today, because that's 2 weeks away.
But but maybe he's talking to specific counties, because I do kind of agree that this thing is probably hitting the rural communities a lot less harder, just because everyone's more spread out. You know, like it's.
Yeah. But what is Burke's talking about? She's talking about regions. She's talking about whole Midwest. She's not breaking it down by like, oh, Toledo is hit really bad, but
well, no,
outside of there, where
no, she does bring the county bell a lot. Like when you look at this, you have to. She loves the word granular too. She throws that in as much as she can. But I go through 3 counties just to get to work. Yeah. But it's of a metropolitan area. But when you're talking about a state like Ohio, you get out of the Cincinnati area, you get outside of Cleveland. You know, Ohio has a lot of farms, man.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just know human behavior too. And if all the McDonald's open up an hour away, everyone from the Metro Detroit area is going to drive an hour for a McDonald's burger.
I saw stuff today that it's not going to matter, because
so all those people, like, you're just going to actually, if you start opening up the economy in the more rural areas and not in the metro areas, then you have people driving out of the metro area to do their shopping, and now it's just worse. Now you have it spreading even more. You have people who wouldn't normally travel outside of the metro area doing so. So I don't know how that works.
Oh, because I saw something today that made me realize it doesn't matter. Because I did a few things today, and I went to Meijer. It was like the day before Thanksgiving in there. I swear to fucking God. As far as the lines and how the parking lot was and the amount of people, and half and half on people in masks and people keeping their distance. And I'm just thinking the whole time, like, this is why the governor fucking tightened the shit down. Like, we're supposed to be under one of the severest lockdowns in the country.
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying
what
because
doesn't matter?
People are going to do, no matter what you tell people, they're going to go where they're going to go. Unless we've made staying at home mandatory. I'm saying they're going to drive where they're going to drive. They're going to go where they're going to go.
Yeah, a certain segment of the population probably will. I mean, so you're saying that you went to a Meijer and it was crowded?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like stupid crowded. In the middle of the afternoon on a Thursday, whatever the hell the day is.
But you don't know how many of those people. I mean, it could be that like everyone is trying to go do their shopping for the weekend on a Thursday, figuring they'll get a jump on it, and everyone had the same idea. You don't know who's there actually getting groceries and essential goods, and who's just like, fuck it, I'm going shopping.
I think it's everyone got their checks. I think a lot of people got $1,200 yesterday.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Be a smart thing to do. Would be to stock up on groceries.
But it was a little jarring at how packed it was today. It's like, really? Like, it was like day before Thanksgiving packed there today. Like, as far as where the parking stopped, I was like, wow, really? I should have, yeah, whatever. But that just kind of let me know, like, no matter what they tell us, we're just going to do what we're going to do. And yeah. So I guess it's all a long way around of like, hey, if you're in like a rural Ohio county that's had like 10 infections and everyone's better, knock yourself out. Because people are going to do what they're going to do. That shit show we saw yesterday in Lansing was fucking proof of that shit.
Yeah, but not, I don't know. We've seen examples of social distancing working. So saying people are going to do what they're going to do, and that's therefore we shouldn't be trying to enforce anything, isn't really accurate, is it? Like, yes, there will always be people who will do what they want to do, no matter how dangerous or how many times or how many different people have warned them. They're just bullheaded. They're just idiots.
It all goes back to you can't. In a situation like this, you can't ask us. We've already had millions of idiots prove that. And as long as these are all just, the language of the gray area of we're using words like recommendations and we advise and these are suggestions, I mean, you're always going to have, like that.
You always will, yes, but that doesn't make your recommendations useless.
Correct.
How much worse would it be if there weren't guidelines and recommendations and stay-at-home orders?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I'm on that side, but maybe I'm a little disillusioned in people after yesterday. And every time, because my wife watched a bunch of videos today of Lansing, and all I could do was just shake my head the entire time. Just wow. Like, well,
right, but that was an example of all the idiots gathering in one place, so it looks like a lot.
I suppose. But anyway, so Ohio wants to open up May 1st, or wants to start opening up parts of it in May 1st.
That's what the governor's saying.
Did he give any? Did they give any examples? We're just like, we're just in May 1st. We're going to see where we're at and start doing it.
Did he give examples of like areas that he would consider opening up, or what? I don't know what you're asking.
Well, he was just like, we're going to start opening up parts. I mean, did he have any inkling of a plan besides being linked to these other 7 governors, other 6 governors, or was he just shooting from the hip?
I don't know what the date's based on. If it was coordinated with with Illinois, with our state, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Indiana, Kentucky, if it was coordinated with wouldn't they all be announcing that they're planning on opening select parts of the state on May 1st? That would kind of be the definition of a coordinated plan.
You would think. It sounds like this guy's going rogue.
But I don't know. I think he's just low on hot air, honestly. He just wants to talk about getting the economy back up and running. He doesn't want to be a Whitmer. He wants to be a Trumper.
Yeah, because he is a Republican governor.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get this mindset. I was seeing things today. Protests in Kentucky. People shouting, "We want to work." Really? You think that this is what this is about? We just felt like taking away people's jobs. You know what? Let's trash the economy. Let's set unemployment to records we've never had before. Because probably not, because I sent it to you before the show. If either of you guys looked at any of these guidelines, any of these phases laid down by the CDC?
No, I mean, it's not laid out that clearly in the story. I don't know.
I think Burke's had her little slideshow going on. I found a link to the whole thing. Let's see, the guidelines for all phases, for all of us, we have to continue to practice good hygiene. So the same thing we've been hearing for a month and a half. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, neither cough through tissue. Disinfect, strongly consider using face coverings while in public, particularly when using mass transit. Oh, so that'll be new and fun for us. So if you feel sick, you should stay home. Guidelines for all phases: employers, temperature checks, testing, isolating, contact tracing, sanitation, disinfection of common high traffic areas. It just says check mark that says business travel. It just says business travel. What does that mean? Does it mean no business travel? All right. Phase 1. It's in red, so you know it's important. Phase 1 keeps schools and daycares closed. You can't go visit Mama and Papa in the nursing home. Looks like restaurants could open back up. Movie theaters under strict physical distancing protocols. You get your elective surgery again. Gyms can open up to strict physical distancing and sanitation protocols. But no bars. We're still supposed to minimize non-essential travel. No common areas. Still encouraging telework. This is elaborate. Let me see if I can just pull out the bullet points of phase 2 and 3. Phase 2, we could travel, non-essentially. They're still encouraging telework.
Have you ran across anything that says anything about sports yet?
Like I said, the large venues, sit-down dining, movie theaters, sporting venues, that can operate under strict physical distancing protocols. That's in phase 1. But yeah, see if you can actually have the sports. Phase 2, the large venues can operate under modical physical distancing protocols. Bars can open in phase 2. Diminished standing room occupancy, where applicable and appropriate. My guess is phase 3 is back to normal. It's talking about vulnerable individuals can go back out in public, resume unrestricted staffing of work sites. You can go visit nursing homes again. We're still doing limited physical distancing in movie theaters, sporting venues, places of worship. Gyms can stay open, same thing. And bars may operate with increased standing room occupancy. So there you go. There's all three phases in a nutshell. Stimulating, I know.
Well, the reason I asked about sports is because Fauci had said that sports could return this year. Just these sports would have to be played with no audience and like players for each team in quarantine, basically. And I was like, oh yeah, that's never going to fucking happen. Like seriously, you're going to tell all of Major League Baseball you got to quarantine your players to the hotel every night?
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, good luck. These are all guys generally in their 20s. Have fun with that.
With money,
yeah,
and yeah, they're pussy hounds. Let's just not be too pretty about it. And they're gonna go out and they're gonna
Keep in mind, the 20-something male is biologically wired to spread seed. So yeah, have fun with that.
So, do you think major sports could survive on television audiences alone?
Baseball's been almost doing it for a couple decades now.
So is NHL. Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of that revenue comes from. Is the ad money from those TV deals. You know, the money's made for the arenas, really. You know, with the arena stuff. You know, that's.
And do you think that the television audience would stay as they would continue to watch if the sports were done to no live audience, just to?
Oh, the sports would
right now, yes.
That. They would stick microphones on players so you could hear the between play chatter or the on field chatter or on ice chatter. They'd find a way to market it to the fucking fans. They do something. That's what they.
You'd get a lot more helmet cams, probably, huh?
Oh yeah.
Less of the sweeping shot. What are those wires that they have that running over the arenas?
But you also got to remember, like, most of the time, shots of the crowd are for people if you're sitting in the crowd. If you're sitting at home, you don't watch shots of the crowd. You go to commercial. So the difference will be coming back and not hearing like any crowd noise, which I don't.
That might be strange.
You don't think they're going to fucking like try to cheese it in there, be like, well, we need crowd noise because it's part of football and, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like, really? You're going to what? Have canned applause? You don't think they'd pull that shit, do you?
I didn't think someone like Bill Maher would pull it, but he is.
Yeah, I guess. Well, no, the reason I asked about sports is because...
Those jokes are barely funny as it is. I mean, he needs...
Buzzing.
He needs a laugh track.
The reason I ask about sports is because to me, sports is like the ultimate... It makes a fuck ton of money, but it really isn't necessary whatsoever outside of the money it generates. So it's like... Yeah, when I hear that they're talking like, maybe like next year even, before sports begin to get back to normal.
That's what Garcetti was saying in L.A., but that's L.A. I mean, are going to sporting events really, is that a big thing in L.A.?
No.
Yeah.
Are they winning?
Yeah, exactly.
If the answer is yes, then yes.
Oh, no, right now, yes, LeBron is there. I forget about that. So,
and the Dodgers are good, so people show up halfway through the game, sit for 20 minutes, get their picture taken, and leave. And they have the best seats, by the way.
oh, that's right. When the Rams were good, they were a hot ticket. Yeah, so it's the joke about LA sports fans is like, if you're an LA sports team, is every game's an away game, no matter what.
I don't get it,
because nobody in LA is from LA.
Oh,
so even if you're playing at home, it's all fans for the other team.
Well, I mean, they've done an all right job the last decade trying to. I mean, you know, Christ, the Kings won the cup. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
Like they're like, hey, it's okay if you're from LA, you can like us. You don't have to root for some other team. But no, there was someone from the NHL who remained chose to remain anonymous, who said the same thing about coming back. It was like, yeah, it'll be 2021 before we even consider coming back, no matter what's being said. And it's like, okay. And then I hear a politician say that, and I'm like, all right, so, yeah, now it's time to take this shit. Like, okay, they're not going to just fucking go, sure, fill the LA Coliseum and it's 110,000 capacity with people. Go for it. No, not happening.
Yeah, the large venues in general, it's kind of puzzling to me. You know, it's described in phase 1 of this layout that large venues can operate under strict physical distancing protocols. I don't know how that works.
You only sell like, a 10,000 seat arena. Do you only sell 3,000 tickets? Like, how's that go? How's that work?
Yeah, it's better than selling none, right?
Yeah, it's true. And it gives people work again.
Yeah, and with most theaters now having assigned seats like you would have at a sporting event, it would be fairly easy to socially distance people, at least in the seating arrangement. But I mean, what does that mean? That you leave, 3 seats empty in between, like
3 seats together and then 3 seats empty.
And even then,
together.
But how do you do that? Because if you might be selling a single seat, or you might be selling to 2, 3, 4 people.
You just play the toxic masculinity. You just go, dude, you can't sit next to that guy. That's the fag seat. You got to put a seat between you and
Buffer
him,
seat.
man.
Now everyone's going to have 3 I'm not a fag seats in between them.
3 no homo seats.
Yeah.
No homo, bro.
Well, you need 1 seat next to you for your guns, because you're so stacked. And then there's the not a fag seat. And then there's your buddy's gun seat, because he's spilling over into that seat because he can't put his arms down.
Well, see how you're trying to paint the Uber sports fans and the Uber gun people into the same corner. The problem is that guns and sports, even surprisingly NASCAR.
No, I was talking arms
and guns.
Guns your muscles.
Oh, I thought you were literally talking guns. I'm like,
guns.
Yeah, there's a surprising lack of guns at NASCAR events.
Well, it could be either. It could be your rifle or it could be your arms. You just need more space because you're so stacked.
I feel bad for anybody whose job depends on a crowd for about the next year. If your livelihood comes from people gathering together, bummer.
Well, I know this much. Your clickbait writers, your articles are written for the next year. They're already there. You just got to find them. It's all the fights that are going to happen in public over social distancing.
Oh,
and it's going to come to blows. And we're going to laugh our asses off at people punching other people because they wouldn't stay far enough away from them.
It's already happened, and surprisingly, it was down south at a Walmart. Shocking, I know.
I know it's already happened. I'm just saying it's going to be rampant.
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Progressive presents an interview with your upstairs neighbor.
Hi, I'm Tia. The upstairs-downstairs neighbor dynamic is so special. We have our own language. Like when I scream at my mom on the phone, the people downstairs bang on the ceiling to show their support.
The nighttime's the best time to rearrange furniture. I call it midnight feng shui.
And if I sleep through my alarm in the morning, they bang on my door to wake me. So thoughtful.
Progressive can't save you from your upstairs neighbor, but we can save you money when you bundle renters and auto insurance with us. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Me, but also you. The Pharaoh fast forwards his favorite foreign film, Powder Donut. Okay, what's my line?
The only line I see here on the script is get options based on your budget with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive.
Oh man, that's a tongue twister, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need a few more minutes. Bulbous Walrus, the Bulbous Walrus.
The Name Your Price tool, only from Progressive.
The owl ran afoul of the comatose coxswain.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
I mean, it says in here, can operate under strict physical distancing protocols. It's, maybe this is just the public-facing broad strokes PowerPoint, and there's more detail on that, but what does strict physical distancing protocols exactly mean?
Yeah,
and
it's very broad
if
language.
It's strict, how do you enforce it? How do you prove that a person is more or less than 6 feet away.
Look, you said you wanted guidelines. We gave you guidelines. It's classic government. It's very open, broad, open for interpretation language. There's a lot of wiggle room in there. Hey, your strict guidelines could be, hey, we told them to stay 6 feet apart.
I think that's kind of why I'm like,
you're talking about consequences. Guidelines mean that you set up clear.
No, that's what I'm saying.
A clear plan for people to adhere to, so that they don't break protocol.
What I'm saying is with how broad the language is, my guideline could be, we told them. Hey, we told them. That was the guidelines we gave them.
No, that's not a guideline.
We told them to stay 6 feet apart. That was the guideline. That was the guidelines that we issued to people. That was our strict social distancing policy. So, yeah, it'll be fun to see who hops on this shit first. My guess, it'll be somebody down south, because tyranny. There are still 9 states who have not had people shelter in place yet.
Yeah, but how sparsely populated for the landmass are they?
One's Arkansas. One's Iowa. 2 states where the people are generally only in a few areas. It's going to be a fun summer. It's going to be like, you want that thrill of gambling? Go travel.
This thing reads like its preliminary plan for putting a plan together. This reads like it should have been the internal document that they passed around so that they could prepare a brainstorm session for determining what are these physical distancing protocols that we're talking about. Strict physical distancing protocols in phase 1. In phase 2, we can ramp that down to moderate physical distancing protocols. So, what does that mean? 4 feet? 3 feet? 52 inches?
Does it
Just
mean
pick a number?
6 feet and no mask? What does it mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Like some of these, it seems helpful. Phase 2 means that schools are back open, or they can open. It means that, what it means for surgeries, elective surgeries, is what they're laying out here. Stuff like that is a little more straightforward.
Which, it's funny, I'm learning elective surgeries are a little bit more of a revenue generator than we thought for hospitals, because in this time where you think you'd need every healthcare worker you can get, there's been local stories of hospitals laying people off because revenue's dried up because of elective surgeries going away.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And Rich, your Beaumont made the news. That isn't closed because they got a bunch of COVID people. They just straight up closed it.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to bring up yesterday, but we got sidetracked over and over again.
Like they emptied it.
Yeah, they were going to turn it. They turned it into an all COVID hospital that they were like, we don't need, and now that's just sitting there closed. And I'm like, wait, what? A hospital is just closed? Okay, that's strange. Mm-hmm. Like, for how long? Are we talking like a day or two for cleaning? To open back up to the public? And it doesn't seem like they have any answers. Even the mayor of City of Wayne has inquired about it.
They interviewed someone that said, we were given a notice that it was a 13-day shutdown notice, and a day later, 95% of the building is empty. So, yeah, but that elective surgery thing, that was at the DMC. Like, you'd think there was just tons of money flowing through that thing. So, yeah, elective surgeries apparently generate more revenue for hospitals than we thought.
Vanity's a motherfucker. Gotta have that perfect nose.
See, does elective surgery, does that just mean like plastic surgery?
Yeah, I wonder what if it's something like...
Or is it...
anything that's non-life, it's anything that's non-essential to sustaining or expand or prolonging your life.
Yeah, is it something like, hey, you should get this out. It won't kill you if you keep it in you, but
what if I have a bum knee? I'm getting around, but I'm experiencing some discomfort, and I'm not as fast as I used to be, and I'd like to get a knee replacement. So do you think that would be considered an elective surgery?
I don't know. How good's your insurance?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what it comes down to. Your insurance is going to decide if they cover it, it's not elective. If they don't, it's an elective surgery. That's exactly how the insurance company works, too.
Yeah.
So
that's true. So here's another vagary in language. Like this is laying out elective surgeries, but that who defines what surgeries are elective and what aren't, other than insurance companies
and their lawyers.
Yeah,
don't forget, if there's a dime to be made, and you can fuck somebody over in the process of making it, there's a lawyer somewhere within 10 feet of that happening.
None of this seems really practical for any of these venues. None of these guidelines for, certainly not for a long-term plan for movie theaters, sports venues, restaurants. I think that the answer isn't going to be like, oh, we're going to be social distancing for, a long time. And I don't know. We're gonna have to figure out a way to have a sanitization program, something that people can just feel comfortable with. I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm not exactly juiced at the thought of traveling again regularly until they find a treatment for this thing. In and out of airport, giant germ tube. I like to think I've been bragging. Like, my immune system's probably hardier than the average person's because of that. But still, it's a lot of close contact at the airport in an airplane. I don't know how thrilled I am about ramping all that up again until there's a vaccine. So
yeah, maybe none of this really even matters, right? You can lay out a plan all you want and say, here's when certain businesses should open and here's what they should be adhering to as far as guidelines. But if people aren't ready for it, then it ain't going to happen. This might all be moot. We might be trying to figure out, well, how does a movie theater figure out its new capacity and seating arrangement during this? And it could be that all during phase 1 and 2, they're struggling just to get 10% of their seats filled.
I mean, I know there's some movie theaters locally that have just called it quits. Like this,
Star Southfield.
Yep.
See you.
Yeah, they just use this as an opportunity, like it was going to happen within the next year anyways, and it's just kind of like, well, this is a sign. See you. So, and I wonder how many businesses. It seems like we have this conversation every couple of days, guys, because the SBA the PPP ran out of money today.
The PPP,
the Paycheck Protection Program.
Mm-hmm.
So
that program's done. Like, that was quick.
$350 billion. Bye-bye. Yeah, let that sink in, everybody.
Well, I don't know if there's going to be another full round bailout, but there's definitely the Democrats have been pushing for another small business bailout.
Yeah, they need to.
They might. Yeah, I don't know.
That's just nuts. All that money earmarked for that is gone already. Like, that is literally like first come, first serve. Last to the bold, stars. Sorry.
And this is what banks. There were banks that 2 hours into accepting applications had to stop because they couldn't handle the volume. $350 billion. This application process started on April 3rd. All right, recording this, it's April 16th. It is 13 days later. Yes, there needs to be another. There needs to be another small business thing, because there's just. Some things are just going to evaporate. Some things aren't coming out of the other end of this.
Well, some businesses specifically, but I don't know, like this.
Some industries are going to be changed.
Well, changed, yeah, right, absolutely. But people still want movies.
Yeah,
they just have to figure out how, and it's gone. Like they had to do with the music industry. They had to figure out where the money was going to come from.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, I mean, these big Disney movies that make billions of dollars. Like, I don't know how you get those kind of numbers other than just packing millions and millions of people together. So,
we know what the test will be in a week or two when we hear about how this Trolls movie's doing. Didn't it come out this week? And wasn't this like the first theatrical thing to come out? The first wide release that was supposed to come out that they put out during all this? Like the first, I should say the first big one. Because I know there were a few things that came out like the first couple weeks that were supposed to come out, and they just put them out. But this seems like this was kind of the first big deal movie that came out. But I don't know. I'm 40 with no kids. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know.
Everything that was big to middle of the road was released like on video on demand. Even that new Pixar movie,
Right.
Onward or whatever, Outward or whatever the fuck it's called. Because I came home the other day and the kids are watching it, and I'm like, this shit literally just came out in the theater 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, well, can't go to the fucking theater, so there you go.
Yeah,
but I mean, that might be. Never underestimate people's paranoia. For every like, I'd say for every Governor Whitmer protesting, Confederate flag waving Howell resident. I don't understand why you have a Confederate flag, but whatever. Out there's probably like 4 or 5 really paranoid of germs people out there who's just like, I'm not going to movie theaters. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. That's what the sports thing is going to be interesting because Mike Valenti, that was one of his subjects. He had people, hey, call in. Let's say they open it back up in the fall. You can go to NFL games, same as before. Someone hands you the tickets for free. Are you going? A lot more people than you thought were like, nope.
I have a new phobia out in public that I noticed I'm developing. Just touching shit. Like today I had to use the ATM. Like, oh, God damn it, I gotta touch this thing. Like, so yeah. What about the new neuroses we're gonna develop, like, as a group? What new behaviors are we gonna carry with us? I noticed another behavior in me too. Like in my driveway, I went to go put my mask on because it's like a new habit I'm developing. Like when I go places, like, well, before you get out of the car, put on your mask. And then be like, no, dumbass, you're home now. So, yeah, there might be a lot of behavior changes that stick with this that might affect things like that. Things shifting to being from, like movie theaters might be over.
In the way we know, the capacity for seating that we know it, I would say probably definitely. I would say they'd probably go more the luxury seating route just to space people out more.
Well, absolutely. And I think that you could definitely, Disney could have great success putting their movies straight onto their streaming platform. They'd sell way more. They'd have way more loyal subscribers, and they could even up the price. It's only, $6 right now for Disney. So up it to 10, you get feature films same day as they're released in the theaters, and then your theater experience is you go and pay $50 just for a seat. But you're going to have a seat with nobody else around you and a huge ass screen and a premium sound system. And then, dump another $20 into the concession stand and you paid $70 to see the new movie, but you got to see it in a way that nobody else does at home. You're paying for the experience. I think that model would definitely work. I don't think that nobody's going to go out to a theater ever if you put all the movies in people's homes.
Well, it's just like once again, just like with sports, with HD cameras, with the new camera angles they can use, with multiple camera angles in use now at sporting events compared to like the traditional classic setup of back in the day, and then these huge TVs you can buy dirt cheap.
Yeah,
decent surround system. It's almost better experience watching sports at home because you actually can see shit a lot clearer. But some people are still want that experience of going to the game.
Sure,
it's like Mike White from the projection booth. He wants to go to the movie theater.
But there's virtual reality. If this forces sports in general to look to other technology to keep its audience, if they can't pack them into a stadium, you can pack as many people as you want in a virtual stadium. You can you can pick your angle, and you could be the player. I want to see what he's seeing on his cam right now, on his helmet cam.
I want to be like him after the game. That's when I want to be the player after the game.
Strap my phone to my face, and I'm fucking whoever the fuck throws a football.
Well, we've already established in your mind the name Drew Brees should be a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, Brees. He sounds fast. I hear. It sounds like, like.
Oh yeah, that's right. He sounded really fast. I thought he was a rapper the first time I heard the name.
Drew. Yeah,
it's a good rap name.
Drew Boogie Breeze.
Because when he retires.
Oh, I mean, you're talking like he was in the Sugar Hill Gang. Then I guess his name could be Drew Boogie Breeze.
He's old enough. He might have been in the Sugar Hill Gang. One of the oldest fuckers in the NFL.
Yeah, but he's still younger than us.
That's true. Which is when the old guys in the NFL are younger than us.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We got a lot less summers ahead of us than we do behind us, folks.
We're sitting here trying to hash out what a lot of entertainment is going to look like after all this. And I mean, let's face facts, guys. We're not in marketing. And there's plenty of people right now who are getting paid big money to figure all this shit out, and they're going to figure it out. They're going to figure out a way to monetize movies and sports because people's appetites for them continually grow. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out a way to make enough money, probably even more than they made before under the old model.
Well, the answer is to just get it to a screen, right? Just get it to a screen.
No, they'll figure out ways to monetize the experience of being part of that sport or that movie or that TV show, that band.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just if you thought shit was sponsored now, take the crowd away, NFL players are going to look like walking NASCARs.
No, well, guys,
that's a definite
have you heard of this?
possibility.
Have you heard of this Sing on the Porch shit?
Yes.
Hey, okay, you have. Great. Do you notice it's sponsored by fucking Chevy?
Yeah,
and every song they say to go out there and sing is a song that Chevy has bought the rights to use in commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like American Pie, Like a Rock. It's like, first of all, who the fuck's going to go out and sing like a Rock on their front porch?
People who want publicity, young musicians.
I mean,
people who aren't us.
I get that Chevy was like, well, what Bob Seger song do we have the rights to?
No, but they're trying to present it like it's a challenge, like everyone's going to do it.
Yeah. They figured out how to get 25-year-olds to buy Chevrolets.
I mean, it's just, yes, every fucking thing is sponsored.
Well,
the Chevy, what is it? The Chevy Front Porch Concert Series.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, it's none of those things except for on the front porch. It's not a concert. It's not a series of concerts.
No, I heard that whole living room concert thing was actually it was they capitalized on it, and now they do one I think every day or every week of an artist from their quote unquote living room or basement.
The sponsorship for music events definitely went way up after music streaming started becoming a thing and piracy was an issue, and the whole industry kind of fell apart and had to restructure. But that only really affects bands that need to do these huge stadium tours and shit. That's really only on the sports arena, the arena sports level of events. The rest of everybody who's got a halfway decent following and can pack a medium-sized venue, they made that up directly from their fans. And I think that's going to be where Disney's not going to be able to sponsor a movie. They are the sponsor. They're not going to get Chevy to sponsor their Avengers movie. I mean, it would be a drop in the bucket for the what it costs to make one of those movies.
Well,
but selling the experience in different ways, not just having a unique theater experience, but just different ways to show your fandom, right?
They picked the right time to launch Disney Plus.
There'll be different levels that you can probably subscribe to Disney Plus.
Because with Disney, they're not a sponsor without the revenue. With no more movie theaters, how does Disney have revenue? It's great time to launch Disney Plus.
Yeah,
which I heard.
Well, yeah, I mean, it works out. Like Disney doesn't need. Like Disney relies on a lot of its movie revenue because it dumps a lot into its movies.
And right now they don't have the parks either.
But Netflix dumps a lot into their productions as well. And they've made almost nothing from their theater releases because they've only been cursory just to qualify for an award season movie. I'm just saying words they don't even make sense. You know what I'm trying to say?
Word salad mode.
Yes.
Like DJT.
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
Oh, hi. Okay, guess we should talk about something. Kind of tough to be put on the spot. Not sure what to say. But I know what I'm definitely not talking about. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big!
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party of 4. Thompson, party... Oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Unregimented.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up the week, gentlemen?
Anything? Well, I mean, just it seems like we've been doing it every Friday for the last couple of Fridays. Anything you saw this week that you'd recommend for people to check out over the weekend?
I won't go on another rant about devs, but I saw the finale. It was everything that I wanted, and it's beautiful. I feel like that show is made for me. Everything that I thought that they were talking about in episodes 1 through 7, they confirmed in episode 8. I was just sitting there going, I was right.
I watched the Dave Chappelle Mark Twain Prize special. That was good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, and I signed up for Amazon Prime for 1 week because it was $1.99 and it was cheaper than paying the shipping on the stuff that I'm having shipped to me. So I'm taking this opportunity to finally watch Fleabag, which is a very entertaining show. And have you guys? I'm sure you've heard of it, right?
I keep hearing about it. Is it good? Is it have people in it we've heard of?
No, it's British. Nobody you know.
So that's no to people we've heard of, but not to being good.
Oh, it is good.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry. I should answer the first one. I enjoy it very much. I don't know, but I didn't answer that right away because I don't know that you'd enjoy it. I don't know that I would recommend it for you. But check it out. It's not bad. You might dig it. It's the character. So she's playing. It's one of these playing a version of myself, like Curb Your Enthusiasm type of shows, right? But it also breaks the fourth wall. She looks directly at the audience and talks to them, usually in the middle of conversation. So there's not like a lot of heavy overdub of "This is my life. I live in London." It's interjections of she's having a conversation with somebody and she turns and looks at you and gives you a look or makes an offhand comment so you can, get a little insight into what she's thinking. But it's also done in a way where, because she's such a disgusting character, right? She's just horny all the time, broke all the time, steals from her parents, just lies. She's not a criminal, but she's not a really good person. And she's therefore, when she addresses the audience directly, she doesn't always do it honestly either. She's an unreliable narrator. So you see that, you get to feel like you're the friend of this person, but even as their friend, she's not telling you everything.
All right.
But there's a lot, it's not one of those shows where there's jokes. I can just tell, there's a scene where she's walking through a park.
It's not a good sell for a comedy.
Well, no, it's funny, but it's not. They're all so situational that it's one of those you had to be there jokes. So she's desperately trying to search. She's trying to find a date for her sister's birthday party. Right? She had broken up with her on again, off again boyfriend, and she's just she's taking pictures of her vagina and just shooting them out to people. And she's walking through the park. and she's talking on the phone to one of her prospective dates and leaving him a message, and she keeps pausing because this dog is looking at her. This dog like watches her walk past the whole time. She keeps looking back, and she's like, "This dog is looking at me." And then as she walks away from the dog, you see her kind of half smile and touch her hair a little bit, and then stops. And she's like, "No, I can't date a dog."
Okay.
So wait, it doesn't really sound like
you have to be
really,
there.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Now.
It's dry. It's dry British humor.
Yes. It's dry. But raunchy, dry British humor.
Gotcha.
So that was interesting. I tried to watch Hunters. Have you guys heard about this? The Nazi hunting show
set in the 70s or something like that with Al Pacino.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't even. It's got like an hour and a half long pilot episode, so it's basically a movie. And I guess the creator of the show was very upfront about his influences, and a lot of those being from comic books. So he's trying to make a very over-the-top kind of comic booky story, but he's doing it with all like the worst tropes, and it's just ridiculous. Most of it follows this kind of, it looks like he's 20 years old, lives with his mom. His grandma for some reason. She was a Holocaust survivor. He's dealing weed just to make money. And his grandma gets shot by some mysterious person, and then he gets wrapped up into all this, like trying to figure out like who would just come in and shoot my grandma. I'm like, is he going to get a Spider-Man suit or what? Like, I get it. It seems like the creator is intending to pay homage to comic books, but he's doing it with all the worst tropes possible, and it just ends up being a mess. And Al Pacino waddles in for a scene, does Al Pacino. You're like, all right.
She got a great ass. And it just wanders off. And you're like, what? Was that that's Al Pacino, huh? Okay.
Al Pacino comes in doing his best Al Pacino impression. It's like De Niro does now, right? De Niro essentially does an impression of himself. Like, right. He's become meta.
Yeah. Especially in like Meet the Fockers and Meet the Parents and all that.
Wasn't Marlon Brando the first person to really do that? The guy that ended up leaning into the caricature of himself.
I thought maybe Jimmy Stewart was, but maybe it was because Jimmy Stewart was beloved, whereas by the time Brando got to the point of being a caricature of himself, people, a lot of people didn't get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the further back you go with actors, the more that was just the standard. They were just playing a character, and then figure out how to put your character in a different movie. The idea that actors had range probably wasn't even up for discussion.
I think essentially that's what the good actors
it's
still
Charlie
do.
Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin played the same character in every film. People loved it. They ate it up.
Yeah.
He didn't go, this time I'm going to play a retarded person and get an Oscar.
It's true. Well, because you never go full retard either. It's back when you could make jokes like that. A whole 10 years ago, to be fair.
Fuck it. Make jokes like that now. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to boycott you. Oh, okay, keep not listening.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
We're going to keep doing the show for free. Cool.
I guess I beat Titanfall 2 already. The single-player campaign wasn't very long. I'm kind of upset. It was amazingly fun.
Yeah.
I've never gotten so into a first-person shooter style game before.
That was one of the ones they gave away for free, and I started playing it. I kind of got sucked into the story. Like when in the beginning, when you're fixing your mech and all that, and have to go do the run and fetch quest, but then
it's pretty decent story because you start out as like you're a trainee, and then all of a sudden some shit goes down, and
you're in the middle of it,
and the pilot that was training you is dead, and you got to figure out how to pilot this mech out of the mess.
But yeah,
it's really like it seems like the whole campaign is just one long training sequence for whatever they do online.
You just described how a lot of people say the single player campaign feels for first-person shooters these days.
Yeah. So, which is probably exactly what I'm going to experience with Fallout 76. I'm going to get really into it, and then I'm going to go, oh, what do I do with all these skills that I've now applied to this game? Go get my butt kicked by an 8-year-old in China?
Generally, in that online gaming.
I'll probably dabble in it. I got to at least see now.
Yeah, and I don't know. They added NPCs into Fallout 76, so that apparently from the review, I mean, like they just did this yesterday or the day before, and the reviews I'm reading is it's a completely different game now, and I'm like, well, I haven't played it for 4 months, so if it's a completely different game, I boot it up, come back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't even tell you whether what to expect. I have no idea.
That sounds more interesting to me, yeah.
But yeah, and I don't know. I for whatever reason, I think because we talked about they started a podcast, a rewatch podcast. I've just been rewatching Scrubs. Always.
Oh, where you at? I started with the podcast, but a lot of free time. I'm already in like season 7 again. I'm already near the end.
Oh, you shot way past the podcast?
Oh yeah, they're only in they're in episode 4. They upped it to 2 episodes a week as of this week because I think they realized it was going to take 5 years if they did it one show a week.
Right.
Shit. Not season 7. I think I just started season 5. So that's
prime. That's prime. That's prime time with Scrubs.
Oh, I'm going to get it. Xfinity subscribers are going to get early access to the Peacock, I think, starting today.
I saw that.
So there's your 30 Rock tap.
Oh, it's been on Hulu.
Yeah, I know, but it's not going to be on Hulu forever. So there you go.
True.
That's where it is when it's done on Hulu.
Yeah, because everything at Parks and Rec's going to be moving over there. The Office is going to be moving over there.
And did you see the announcement of the other DC shows that HBO Max is going to be producing? So we knew about the Green Lantern live action show that they were doing. What are the other ones? I got to look it up. They're doing Justice League Dark and something else that was really cool. J.J. Abrams is doing Justice League Dark, and he's doing a Shining TV series.
Yeah, that I didn't know it was HBO, but I know that they've been batting around the idea of selling a TV series that would show you all the crazy stuff that happened, like a prequel show.
Oh, so is that what it's going to be?
Every 1 week you'd find out why that woman was dead in the bathtub. Next week you'd find out about the guy with the dog costume giving a blowjob to the other guy, and then
really?
The mob hit that happened, and yeah, that's at least what they were saying.
What is
they
this?
wanted to do.
That's like watching an old TV show about with the worst parts of Solo in it.
What?
Where they were like, oh, just a single pilot?
What show is this? What was this?
Call him Han Solo.
It's a Shining television series. It would basically cover all the stuff that happened. Before the movie and the book, and you would see it, and it'd be like an anthology series. Every episode would be different.
That sounds like a procedural. My wife would like it, but it's talking about actual characters. You're not throwing out examples. Sound like perhaps. Never mind.
Yeah, that's part of the problem with the show like that is there's no mystery. You're like, oh, of course she's gonna fucking die. I've seen the movie where she's dead.
Yeah, I'm really done with the whole prequel thing unless it's so far. Like they could do a Star Wars prequel, I'd be all right with it. If it's 3,000 years in the past.
We've seen that it's very possible to mine the nooks and crannies of the Stephen King universe and find gold in there that King himself never found, but I don't trust that J.J. Abrams would be the person to do that. J.J. Abrams is the person you get when you need a generic reboot for younger audiences. So the idea that he's going to put some kind of twist on this and actually make it interesting, that's a reach.
Lens flare and mystery boxes for everybody. Oh, and well, I guess this is if you're like a very avid gamer, you already know this, but if you're just a casual gamer or you're starting to game more because you got free time and you have a PS4, then the whole Uncharted 1 through 3 collection they're giving away for free. PlayStation Network is.
I downloaded it right before we got on.
And a game called Journey, which is...
It looks interesting.
It's kind of a cool game, but I mean, like, I think they went a little overboard with the artsy-fartsy reviews because, just to be honest with you, it's an artsy video game.
Yeah.
And there's a serious lack of it, so it's
my 13-year-old daughter is probably going to eat that game up.
Like, you know, like the more artsy-fartsy people got their head way up their ass when that game come out. And I'm like, it's a cool game, but guys, it doesn't revolutionize things. You know, let's be honest here. This ain't Pac-Man. Calm down. But, yeah, so it might be worth checking out if you got a PS4 and they're free. I can vouch for the Uncharted games, and like I said, the Journey game is fun and unique. And if you go into it just expecting to have a good time, not expecting anything else, you'll probably will have a good time.
Well, I had an old roommate that Uncharted was his shit. Like, he loved those games. Like, hours. Go to work, come home, play Uncharted, ignore girlfriend, repeat. Now they're married with kids.
I'm not so big into the parkour games, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
I was never a big Tomb Raider fan. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
so this is just
never
Tomb Raider with no nice butt to look at.
I'm assuming some people might think he had a nice butt. Whoever
probably does have a nice butt. He's modeled like Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's got a pretty decent can.
No, man, he's modeled after what's his face from Firefly.
Oh, he's got a nice pooper too.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he is.
Why didn't they make him Hawkeye? They fucked up, right? Shouldn't he have been Hawkeye? I don't hate Jeremy Renner. I'm not mad at him or anything, although apparently a lot of people are. But yeah, Nathan Fillion would have made a great Hawkeye.
Yeah, but the problem is he's like getting to be 60 now. I'm just saying, 60s in comic books for a comic book character is fine. 60 for an actor playing a comic book character, you start looking like De Niro in The Irishman.
But they're going to need somebody. So what's going to happen with this Hawkeye show? Like, regardless of what happens with Jeremy Renner's career, I don't think that Jeremy Renner is going to be able to carry a Hawkeye show. And part of the idea of the show was to do the handoff to the younger Hawkeye. And Nathan Fillion playing an older Hawkeye, training, basically doing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm down for that. That's what they should do. And before we go, R.I.P. Brian Dennehy, not COVID related, just 81.
Yeah.
Too late for the cocoon.
It's funny, every time I think of Brian Dennehy, it's Tommy Boy.
That's all Tommy Boy. The huge body work he has and a movie that he was in for half an hour is what most people think of him for.
Well, I mean, it certainly comes to mind, but he was in everything when I was a kid.
Before
he was just
Tommy
one of those
Boy,
omnipresent actors.
Yeah, before Tommy Boy, he's like, oh, that's the guy from Rambo. Oh, that's the guy from this movie.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy was like, oh, that's Chris Farley's dad.
Yep.
He was on fucking Dynasty. Showed up on Miami Vice.
But to most people, he's Mr. Callahan. He could, what was it?
Hey, I buy brake pads from this guy. Yeah. I thought we were watching cartoons.
Well, I get a good look at a T-bone by sticking my head up a cow's ass, but I'd rather take a butcher's word for it.
No, wait a minute. It's got to be the butcher's cow in your ass. Wait, no, hold on. I told her.
Good look at a stick my head up a butcher's ass. Wait. Yeah. Man, dude, he's only in that movie for like 45 minutes, maybe half an hour.
If that, man. Seriously, if that.
And that's a role he's going to be remembered like the most for with most people.
Anybody our age, honestly, anybody our age, especially our age and younger, ask him, where do you know Bob Barker from? And maybe our age and like around our age and older.
Price is Right.
Price is Right. Younger than us.
Oh,
Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10 they're going to say Happy Gilmore. So I mean, it's just, hey, as long as you remember him, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget him.
So First Blood wasn't the only movie he did with Sylvester Stallone. He also did a movie called Fist.
Is it gay porn?
No, it's a prison escape movie, if I remember correctly.
FIST. It's what does it stand for? Wikipedia describes it as 1978 American crime
Federation of
neo-noir.
Interstate. It's a Federation of Interstate Truckers. It's based on the Teamsters and Jimmy Hoffa.
So this was Over the Top before Over the Top.
Well, that movie's about arm wrestling and a gentleman's relationship with his son.
Not truck driving. It was about a gentleman's relationship with his right arm.
Like, damn. Just looking at his IMDb.
So was this supposed to be a serious film?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
I remember it vaguely. My dad had it. And
like by the title, Sylvester Stallone, 1978, Fist. Like I'm thinking it's going to be some sci-fi thing where he's got some cyber glove that zaps people.
To me, it just sounds like a movie where someone's going to be whooping someone's ass for 3 hours. Fist. Brian Dennehy has 183 acting credits on IMDb. His first ones being in 1977. Starting with Kojak and Serpico, and then, ends in...
Wait, he was in Serpico?
The TV series.
Oh, that's right. I forgot there was this TV show.
One episode. One episode of Kojak, episode of MASH. Fist.
Yeah, I think he's just a good example of a working actor. You know, there's a quote that CNN put in their story about him from an interview with the Daily Actor. It said, "I'm 80 now and just another actor, and that's fine with me. I've had a hell of a ride. I have a nice house. I haven't got a palace, a mansion, but it's pretty nice, comfortable home. Raised a bunch of kids and sent them all to school, and they're all doing well. All the people that are close to me are reasonably healthy and happy. Listen, that's as much as anybody can hope for in life."
Well, good for him. You sound like he's happy.
Oh, I just remembered where else he might be remembered for by the younger generation. Right in the middle of What Would Brian Boitano Do in Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. When they're like, "What would Brian do?" And yes. And he goes, "No, not fucking Brian Dennehy. Brian Boitano."
That's right.
That was actually him? Or
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's South Park. I mean, it was literally a one-line, yes. I mean, Christ, they got the biggest, arguably The Verge being the biggest television / movie star at the time, George Clooney, on their show, and they made him a dog, a gay dog who barked effeminately. That's what they did with him. I mean, so who knows? Maybe they were like, "Can we get Brian Dennehy?" Yeah. He's like, "Yeah, what do you guys need me to say?" Yes. That's it. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm worried, man. Really? Hey, you're paying to use my likeness to do some fucked up shit to me, aren't you?"
Oh, forget, he was in the 1996 Romeo and Juliet
with the gung fu.
Leroy Cappuccino and Claire Danes.
Huh.
Says he's Ted Montague. He is in a lot of shit you have never heard of. Even getting into the 2000s.
A working actor.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's quality work. It just means it's work.
It's like every now and then. Well, there's a certain line in his career where every few credits, something you've heard of shows up. But it's still a lot of shit you haven't heard of. A lot of TV in his later career. Get to 2010, a lot of TV. But yeah. You net a credit in 2020, playing a grandfather in something called Son of the South. So working right up to his death.
Well, that's how you know a motherfucker loved his job.
Yeah, still doing it when you're over 80. I can't wait to retire and do nothing, no matter what I'm doing.
I was going to say, yeah. At least once a week, I'm like, oh shit, I forget he played the cook in Waiting. Dane Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Dane Cook played the cook where he's like, "I can't wait to quit this job."
Yeah.
That's me once a week. I'm like, oh, God.
Dude, I can't wait to wear pants up to my nipples, and my job every day is to just wake up and golf. Can't wait for that shit.
I don't know. Being shut in this past month has just showed me that I don't ever want to retire.
Really? Mandy's like, I don't see what the big deal is. I'm hearing about all these people getting cabin fever. She's like, this is great. I'm like, you're wired for this. All right. Most of us aren't.
I'm wired for it, but I'm not wired for it with certain people. So it's like, ooh, thank God we all got our corners of the house sometimes.
Well, I know I'll probably be podcast until I kick the bucket.
It's true.
But I think I'm done for tonight.
Yeah. Fair enough. Same here. So this is the part where I just go over all the social media and such. We're at Unregimented Pod on Twitter, at Unregimented on Instagram, Unregimented at ChristopherMedia.net is how you email the show. ChristopherMedia.net has a PayPal button if you'd like to throw us a couple bucks. You don't have to. You don't want to. But there's also an Amazon banner where if you're going to be online shopping, like we're probably all going to be for the rest of our lives, you can help us out without just hike up the price. Helps us out. Everybody wins. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, the iHeartRadio app, Stitcher, ChristopherMedia.net. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. Have a great weekend.
See ya.
Later, guys.
Unregimented.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Progressive presents The Sounds of the Old World. The year is 2019, and someone is waiting for a table at a restaurant.
Thompson, party of four. Thompson, party of four. Thompson, party... Oh, there you are.
This has been The Sounds of the Old World. Brought to you by Progressive, where drivers can still switch and save like it's 2019.
Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
ChristopherMedia.net.
If you like this show, please tell a friend. Please make sure to rate and comment on all your favorite Christopher Media shows. Please follow us on Twitter and like and share us on Facebook. You can subscribe to all ChristopherMedia.net shows for free on ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for listening, and thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.